Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. SpiderButton.com is proud to present Android app development. In this first episode of Basics, we're going to cover just that. We're going to cover the basics of Android app development. We're going to find out what exactly Android is and how it works so that we can become good developers. Then we are going to install Android Studio and the Java SDKs that make it work. And before the end of this lesson, you will be able to make your very first app. So without further ado, let's move on. I want to review just quickly who this tutorial is going to be for. Android applications are built in the Java programming language. So those who are familiar with object-oriented programming languages are going to find this tutorial to be easier. However, I am more than willing to work very closely with all of you, and so however many questions you are willing to fire at me, I will answer them. So if you're willing to be patient and to work closely with me, I'm certain that we can get you building apps all on your own. Okay, before we move any further within this tutorial, I want to begin download of the tools that you're going to need to be able to develop your applications. The first thing that you're going to need is the Java SDK. Now, I'm going to include the link here in the comments for the video. Okay, under the Java SE Development Kit AU91, you'll click Accept License Agreement, and then click on the blue hyperlink for the package that corresponds with your operating system to start the install. Now, you also have to allow the program to make changes to your computer and click the next button and etc. until it's all finished. Now, then you'll also need to install on the right hand side here, you'll see you need to install the Android Studio. And you'll just click on the Android Studio 2.1, and again you're going to have to allow that program to make changes to your computer, click the next button, etc. until that is all finished downloading. But we want to go ahead and get these things running and downloading and installing while we go through the rest of this lesson. Now that we're downloading the tools that we need, let's talk about what an Android is. An Android is an operating system. All that is everything that comes preloaded on a device. It's everything that comes on your phone when you first purchase it, or everything that is already on your tablet when you first buy it. An Android is also a platform because it's an operating system, but it also gives us a development environment where we can access the features of that operating system. Now, Android's a really big deal because it's available in 190 countries, supported by 300 manufacturers. There are 1 million devices activated daily, just Android devices. And there are 1.5 billion Android apps downloaded every month. Big deal. There are 4 things that can help you get the big picture about what is going on in the background when an app runs on an Android. Those 4 things are 1. Activities, 2. Intents, 3. IntentServices, and 4. BroadcastReceivers. Activities are most associated with a screen. Anytime you see a screen, it's launched usually by an activity. Anytime an app is launched, that's a launch activity. And activities can actually start other activities using the start activity method, which you can see there. Intents provide information needed to start a task. Intents can be either explicit, telling exactly what to do, or implicit, giving options of apps that can handle a task. IntentServices do work in the background and do not affect the user interface or UI. Broadcast receivers receive information from the send broadcast method sent from a service or an activity. The Android manifest file contains important information for every app, including the name of the app, the icon for it, its permissions, each activity included in the app, and each intent service. Okay, now that we have learned the basics of what Android is and how it works, we're going to go ahead and create our first Android app. So, open up your Android Studio, and it should open up just like this. And we're going to start a new Android Studio project by clicking right here. Application name, we can name it My Application and leave the company domain. We're going to make it the platform for a phone or a tablet. And the minimum SDK, we want to keep this down on API 14 ice cream sandwich. We don't want to set it too high because we don't want people with older devices to not be able to use your app. Okay, and click Next. And we're going to make a blank empty activity and click Next. And we're going to create an empty activity. The activity name we can go ahead and leave as main activity and click Finish. And it is creating your very first app. Congratulations! When it opens up, you're going to see My Application and it says Hello World. That's your very first app. Under activity main.xml, that's your very first app. Now over here under Java and main activity, you can see the Java that makes this work. On create. Okay. And then I want you to go ahead and look at the manifest file as well. We learned everything that should be in the manifest file. The icon, the name of the app, My Application, and the name of the activity. Remember, we named it Main Activity. And right here, that activity is made the launcher, and that is what makes the app open itself. So, very good. You have created your very first app, and we are finished with this, the very first lesson in Android app development. So, stick around. We're going to have another lesson very shortly where we get deeper into using all of these great tools in the Android Studio and start playing with things like buttons and making the buttons work. So if you are enjoying this, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you know when our next lesson goes up. And believe me, we're going to get into a lot deeper with the app development, and by the time we're finished, you will be an absolute pro. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.